Hi, I'm Cassidy, and I'm going to be covering a couple questions. The first question are, what are two core trade-offs that firms must make in order to achieve competitive advantage? One example was Nordstrom, and they would take their biggest sales volume that would come in, and they would target certain households, and these certain households would have a higher income than many of the other customers, and by targeting these people it would bring in more volume of sales to Nordstrom. There then was IKEA that would follow a specific model, and this tactic would help people within the firm and people that weren't even involved in the firm. Basically what we want to do, we want to maximize a wedge between the supplier opportunity cost and the customer's willingness to pay. Firms that will maintain a larger wedge than their peers are then to have competitive advantage amongst the rest of the firms involved. The next question is, what is dual advantage? Why is dual advantage so difficult to achieve? Dual advantage is difficult to achieve basically because an industry is always going to be competing with another. There's always going to be competition. Someone's going to get something that another doesn't have, and a customer will be more willing to pay a higher amount for a better product and won't want to spend money on a product that may be an off-brand, or it might be opposite. This is why it's just hard to reach the same standard. It's difficult to increase customers' willingness to pay for a product while then lowering cost, but not too low, so then the industry still makes profits from the sales. There's always going to be a differentiation between the two companies, like I said, and of product costs and the value to which people see the product as. The last question is, how can analysts like us understand firm strategy by using analyses you read about in the week's reading that compare to costs and those that assess willingness to pay, including the value proposition analysis across firms. In other words, what do these analyses tell you about the firm's competitive strategy? So basically, first, competitive advantage helps strategists analyze and see the differences within certain industries. A firm has an advantage over many rivals, and if the wedge is larger between the number of customers and their willingness to pay and the cost incurred, like I had mentioned previously. A customer's willingness to pay for a product is how much basically they're willing to pay to get that product. So if they have to go to a different location, then they will do that to get a better price for a certain product. This is why, like in the previous question, it's hard to reach that dual advantage and where there's like equality amongst them. The supplier opportunity cost within this is basically symmetrical with willingness to pay. It's the smallest amount that the supplier will then accept for certain services and things that have to be done that they need for this good or service to be completed. All in all, a firm will have the competitive advantage that it wants is when it has that added value. And that is all the questions.